Hello and welcome to a gameplay for all seasons. On today's Hogwarts Legacy video, I want to talk about the Game Awards and specifically a certain award which is the most anticipated game. Now I was a little bit surprised that Hogwarts Legacy is not up as one of the nominees for the most anticipated game, and that's what I want to talk about in this video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't, if you're interested in Hogwarts Legacy and want to stay up to date with all the news on that. And let's get straight into this video. There's a lot of anticipation out there at the moment that we are going to get this promised update on Hogwarts Legacy at the Game Awards. A big part of that, as we discussed on this channel before and is widely known, is Millie Mond on Twitter has said we should have got something in October or the Game Awards. Didn't get something in October, so the Game Awards it seems quite likely. She also recently released something which said it's coming soon, which suggests it is going to happen potentially at that point. I even had a poll on my channel about what do people think, when do they think we can get something, and by far the biggest expectation is we will get something at the Game Awards, which is kind of why I was surprised that the Hogwarts Legacy isn't up for the most anticipated game. My reason for thinking this is if you think you've got the Hogwarts video, the next update, we haven't had one for a long time, it's going to be a big thing, it's going to cause waves, surely you'd want to have that as one of your nominations for the most anticipated game, so you can say here's the most anticipated game and oh look, here's the trailer. Isn't that great for the Game Awards? Which I have to say that line of thinking proved to be a little bit of a red herring, because I did actually look at the nomination process, which I've put up on screen, and you can see it's actually really thorough, which actually is kind of not that surprising when you think about it, because the Game Awards is a very big thing. It's a thorough and rigorous process. They're not going to just idly put anything here just to make themselves seem better. So that makes complete sense why they wouldn't just stick it on there, and it would be voted for properly and correctly, as you can see it is. So that raises a different question, which is that the nominations are voted upon from the industry and people who think about games. So that makes you wonder, why isn't Hogwarts Legacy on there? Now, if we look at the 5 games that are on there, they are actually all games that no doubt people are very much looking forward to. So again, your initial thought may be, okay, well, Hogwarts Legacy, we don't know quite when it's coming out. It should be sometime in 2022. Maybe the most anticipated games are all games that are going to be releasing quite soon. Now, if we look at Horizon Forbidden West, that's the 18th of February, so that is soon. Elden Ring, 1 week later on the 25th. Again, that's soon. But if you look at the other 3, that's not really the case. So Starfield is the one other one that has a proper date at the moment, which is the 11th of November. So that's right at the end of 2022. And then you've got God of War Ragnarok that is just saying 2022. We don't actually have a proper date for that at the moment, which kind of puts in the exact same territory as Hogwarts Legacy. And then probably even further away from that is Zelda The Breath of the Wild sequel, which currently isn't even named. And though they're saying they're aiming for 2022, that doesn't even sound like it's necessarily going to be in that time period. So it's probably going to actually release after Hogwarts Legacy. So that to me creates a third probability of why Hogwarts Legacy is not one of the nominees for most anticipated game. It's not because they're not going to show it there. It's not because it's too far out. The reason I think it's not there, because even though the games are on there are all big games and no doubt are hugely, hugely anticipated, for me, Hogwarts Legacy being part of the Wizarding World, I think the audience for that game is absolutely huge. And you only really have to look at creators out there. If you look into YouTube and you look at various creators, particularly the ones who cover various games, you see generally the Hogwarts Legacy video will do better than other videos. So that within the YouTube space suggests that Hogwarts Legacy is extremely anticipated. That draws me to the conclusion that the reason it's not been nominated is because of the absolute silence. Now, I know a lot of people, no doubt you watching this video, are still anticipating and very much looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. It can't be denied the fact we haven't had anything for over a year, where for the other games you are hearing bits and pieces in the main. That silence really has removed the hype from the mainstream. Now, it could just be that Hogwarts Legacy was game number 6, but even then, you know, we're talking about the Wizarding World RPG, the game that feels like it's 10, 20 years in the making, really, because I'm amazed we hadn't had this earlier. So the fact it's not there obviously means that the hype for this game in the mainstream has died down somewhat from when we initially had that trailer, which you could potentially draw one other conclusion from that, which is we don't currently have a release date. The fact that the hype has been allowed to die down so much, the developers will be well aware that that's happened. Likely, to me at least, means that we're not going to be getting this game anytime towards the beginning of 2022. Hope I'm wrong. It'd be great if we did. It'd be great if we got it by the summer. But to me, I'm thinking the sort of Starfield type time of the year around November is probably when we're going to get Hogwarts Legacy, because you would imagine they want to have a good few months of building hype up before then. I mean, maybe the Game Awards is going to be the start of that hype, and if it is, then I suppose we could have something towards the beginning of the year. but we'll have to see. Let me know what your opinion is on not being selected. Don't forget to hit that like button, and I'll see you on the next video.